I'm just saying, if you're going to allow 88 shots in a game, you're not going to win many games. Come on, Columbus. Okay, so all seriousness, this game was awesome. If you didn't watch this game, at least go back and watch the highlights. I mean, first of all, let's talk about Korpisalo. So Korpisalo made 86 saves on 88 shots. No, I'm sorry. I guess 80. What do you make? 85 saves on 88 shots. Sorry about that. Forgot about the dang last goal. Anyway, he broke the record for the most saves in a playoff game at 75. And then he kept on going and made, I guess, 85 saves, I think. So he now holds that record. So there's some trivia for you to store away in the back of your mind for a someday question that might come up. So the first goal in the game came in the first period by Columbus. They took a 1-0 lead on a puck that deflected at least 2 times on its way to Vasilevsky and then made it through. Then in the second period, I think it was still in the first. In the first period, Tampa Bay Lightning tie it up. And then with less than a minute to go in the second period, the Columbus Blue Jackets take a lead again. And with that goal, that I'm not going to call it weak, but it wasn't a strong goal on Vasilevsky. Here's what happened. He went down on one leg, sort of with the other one kind of trailing behind him, to hold the post from the short side. The shooter was not at the end red line. He was probably about 4 or 5, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 feet out from the end red line along the boards. And he just launched a perfect shot that went over Vasilevsky, hit the bottom of the crossbar and went in. Now, again, yes, that was a perfect shot. But the skill level in the NHL now is such that people make perfect shots. And so he probably should have had that if he would have just been standing up instead of going down like he did. But, I know I'm beating a dead horse. The first goal that was allowed by Korpisalo, if I remember correctly, was 5-hole. Guy just kind of had it relatively in close and turned and shot and scored. Not a bad goal, really. And then let me think about the tying goal that Korpisalo allowed. I had to go back and watch it because I couldn't remember what happened. Anyway, Tampa Bay takes a shot. Korpisalo makes the save. And it's kind of loose in the crease. Korpisalo goes down on his belly to try to keep it out, but Tampa Bay is able to tuck it in. And that was less than a minute into the third period. So Columbus had taken a lead with less than a minute left in the second. Tampa Bay ties it up with less than a minute to go, or less than a minute into the third. And then the marathon begins. And oh my gosh, it was amazing. So it goes into the 5th overtime. I think the last that I heard them say is it had reached the 4th longest game in NHL history. Korpisalo was amazing. I started watching the game in like the second overtime because, it started while I was at work. So I didn't even get to start watching it until after I got home from work. And so I think I started watching it like in the second inning, the second overtime after I got done eating dinner. And, oh man, Korpisalo was awesome. And I don't want to take anything away from Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky played amazing too. Keep in mind, he made over 60 saves. I think he made 64 saves, if I'm not mistaken. So, he was only less than 10 saves away from being the second most stops saves in a playoff game in NHL history. Put that in perspective there. And again, I think it was like the 4th longest game ever or something like that. It was in the top 5. So amazing game. And then in the 5th overtime, Tampa Bay roofs a shot and beats Korpisalo, and the game is over. I feel bad for Korpisalo because, 85 saves, I think it was, and he ends up losing. But again, I don't want to take anything away from Vasilevsky. I will say that Tampa Bay looked like the better team through all of the game that I saw, which was like starting in the second overtime. So, I predicted that the Columbus was going to win this series, and they still might. I mean, look, I came into it pretty late. I'm not sure what it looked like before then, but I think they were being outshot by like 10 shots or so by the end of the game, by the end of regulation. So, that's not going to, they can't do that too much. They can't expect Korpisalo to be Mr. Amazing in every game. I mean, obviously, every game's not going to be like this one, but even during the regulation, they're going to have to even that shot count up just a little bit. and, test Vasilevsky more than they did. And by the way, during the overtime, I think it was during the fourth or fifth overtime, I think it was the fifth overtime, Tampa Bay had a power play because the Columbus defenseman roofed it over the glass without it, from the defensive zone without it touching anything. But during that power play, credit to Columbus, not only did Tampa Bay not have a single shot on goal, but Columbus got a breakaway, and he wasn't able to get a shot on goal because he was pushed down. I think during a regulation game, normal game, it probably would have been a penalty. But even then, even though he fell, it wasn't really egregious. And he might have just fallen because he was just absolutely exhausted. I mean, he was pushed on, don't get me wrong, but he might have been just so exhausted that the slightest little push made him go down. I mean, guys, they were dragging their legs everywhere. They were barely skating. The pace was slow, to be expected. But anyway, amazing, amazing, amazing game. Awesome to watch. And it reminded me in many ways of the big 4 overtime Dominik Hasek, Martin Brodeur game in 94, where Hasek made 70 saves in a 1-0 victory for Buffalo. Man, amazing stuff. Anyway, if you find this video to be useful, entertaining, informational at all, please hit the like button. Do please subscribe if you have not already. I would greatly appreciate that. And thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day. Bye now.